Hello, we're back. Let's freaking... I say this every freaking episode. Let's jump into it, but before we jump into it, blah, 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 blah. In the description below, I have a Twitter you can go follow. I also have a My Anime list. My hair is killing me. I also have an My Anime list that you could go follow. See all the manga that I'm reading. You go see what I'm tweeting about. I talk about manga, football, or soccer, boxing. I talk about anything I want. Also, I have this thing on my channel you probably know where if you drop a super thanks, could be $2, $5, doesn't matter. I will literally buy that series and I'll read it and I'll review it for you. I don't know when it will come out, but I try my best with my schedule. I don't really have a schedule right now. I'm just trying to read as much as the manga that is given to me. Let's just go into it. So, topic is manga that I don't think ever should get an anime. Now, I think any manga can get a good anime. I do think that's possible. Like, if you have the enough time, enough money, enough talent, enough skill, and enough creative direction, any manga could get a good anime. Does that mean it should, though? Debatable. There's certain things that I just think shouldn't be put to screen. I'm going to be talking about today. The first one actually does already have an anime, but it's garbage. It's the Fable. The Fable just doesn't work in an anime setting. Like, the comedy is way too dry and way too, like, manga-esque for an anime, honestly. Like, the, like, paneling, the dialogue, the art, all works better in a manga setting. Now, can this work in an anime? Of course it can. Any manga can. Doesn't mean it should, though. Again, debatable. Also, just to be known, I'm not including stuff like Berserk or Goodnight Poon Poon. One, I haven't read Berserk, and Goodnight Poon Poon is in one of these big ass boxes, so I'm not getting that shit out. And two, like, those are, like, so obvious, I don't think I need to talk about them. There's some other obvious ones in here, but I just don't think they matter very much. The next one, again, I like to use manga as, like, a placeholder. This one just should not be printed at all. Like, there's some manga in here that, yeah, they shouldn't be printed, but they're in, like, a category of their own where I don't think it would work. This is one of those, this manga just wouldn't work. This manga just would not work in animation. That's Fire Punch. I know I did a video on, if there was a Fire Punch anime, this is how the episodes would go, and I just basically laid out the entire season. You can go watch that video, it's very bad. Fire Punch would not work in an anime. It's too weird. Nobody would like it. Nobody would read it. It's just too off. It's too much. It's just too much. Just doesn't work half the time in an anime setting. Like, I think I believe this manga just works better in that grungy, detailed feeling, this almost indie feeling that this manga gives that you're not gonna get from an anime. Like, there are some, like, I know they're animating Look Back into a movie, and it looks incredible. It'll probably be incredible. And I'm pretty sure they're also animating Goodbye Eri, but I don't know when that's coming out. Those would work. Those would definitely work. Fire Punch is way too off-putting to give to a general audience. I don't know if people would love it very much. I don't know if it would be as appreciative as the manga is. Like, honestly, I hear about this manga a lot in the manga community, especially because of how old it is. And maybe that's just because Tatsuki Fujimoto is just now very well-known author. But if this is put into anime, I don't know how people would react to this shit. Too mainstream. Alright, next, it's one of those, it encompasses an entire idea. It's Shha Showen. I just feel like, I don't even know if this works very well as, like, an American manga. I'm more talking about Western here. Like, yeah, this could work in anime. They'll probably make an anime about it. It's popular enough. It could work in an anime. But, you know, I live in the States. I live in America. And over on this side, I don't, like, a lot of the jokes are very catered to Japanese, like, stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. This manga is made for Japanese people. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. It's not a negative. I just don't think it would work in an anime if, you know, American people are watching it or people who don't know Japanese are watching it and they don't get some of the jokes. I mean, it just happened, like, recently, like, Volume 5, because there was some translation errors in Volume 5. There's a lot of jokes I didn't get, which is no issue by the manga standard. It's just something that I don't see a lot of people in the States caring for. And it's totally understandable. It's also treated like a very, like, classic, like, sports series. I don't know if people even want that anymore. I don't know. I just don't think it should get an anime. There's certain reasons, and I just don't think it should be allowed. It should be illegal. Now it could definitely work. I mean, you look at, like, English dubs, a lot of time the actors will, like, change some of the words, or the writers will change some of the words to fit an English-speaking audience. Obviously, like, you're not going to be from a Spanish-speaking country and listen to the American dub, the English dub. Which, you know, that could work. They make, like, their own jokes in the English dub, or they make their own jokes in the translation. That could definitely work. But besides that, I just don't see it happening. Next, I have Homunculus. This is another fire punch. I just don't think it would go well. I don't know how you even make money from this. This story is so, like, it's just so eerie and so disgusting at times and just so thought-provoking. I don't see people watching it very much. I don't see people, like, okay. You see, like, some animes will change certain parts about a manga so it can be shown to a wider audience. How do you do that with Homunculus, though? I feel like if you do it with Homunculus, you're going to have to cut out, like, half of the manga, and you'd be kind of doing a disservice to the author. Just don't see it happening. Now, if they made an anime about this, and they made it truthful and good and, you know, like, very catering to the source material, of course I'm going to watch it, and of course it would be incredible. But that also comes in with another problem is this manga's biggest strength is its art and detail. I mean, I could really turn to any page. Boom, look at the detail on that page. Like, it's really hard to replicate that. Just to draw. It's just really hard to draw that, but also to animate moving people in that frame. It's really difficult to do that. So you would have to get, you know, the utmost perfect talent to do that. I don't see it happening. Now, all these manga I'm talking about, it's not that I wouldn't want to see an anime adaptation of them. I would love to. This is the manga I would not want to see. If this got announced, I'd never watch it. It's PTSD Radio. PTSD Radio does this thing where each chapter is like maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 pages at most. And it cuts between various, and I mean various storylines that are all different and separated and then come together at the end. At least on this first volume, they come together for the most part. How do you do that in anime? Because, okay, if you look at, like, the chapter count of PTSD Radio, like, if you go to the beginning and you look at how many chapters there are, there's 18 chapters. In this first volume, it's one volume, 18 chapters in this, right? An anime usually gets, 2-3 chapters in an episode. Each chapter is around 15-20 pages. That's 60 pages. Maybe 40 to 60 pages. How do you do that? How, like, that you would have to be running 15 different storylines in one episode. The season would not make sense. The season would be 6 episodes. It would be so convoluted, so disjointed. It just wouldn't make sense to the viewer, especially if the anime is weekly. If you expect your viewers to remember shit by week, oh my god. When I go back to PTSD Radio, I'm gonna have to reread this volume so I know what the fuck's happening in volume 2 and 3. Because I don't remember shit. All I remember is there's a hair demon. That's all I know. And a guy who like throws rocks at crows. That's all I can remember. And then there's also your mandatory, basically, your traditional problems. Detailed, the art is too good. It wouldn't fit in a setting with movement and audio and voice acting. It's way more creepy just turning the page and getting a jump scare. Like, I don't know how you jump scare this image. Like, how do you jump scare that in an anime? I mean, you could. That's just terrifying, though. Like, just flipping the page and seeing that is just terrifying. Doesn't work. It just does not work. Now, here's another one that actually I think could work, but another talks about it actually being created. If it was happening, it's probably going to be awful, but there are talks about it being created. That's Vagabond. I just think, like, obviously the art is, like, the most beautiful art I've ever seen in manga. Like, it is one of them. Turn to any page, it looks beautiful. Like, look at that shit. It looks serene. Takahiko Inoue is the most skilled artist I've ever seen in manga. Like, legit. Vagabond, Real, Slam Dunk. 3 of the best drawn manga I have in my collection. Something about Vagabond is, well, yeah, the art, obviously, I already talked about that. But 2, the pacing is really slow. In this manga, it's very slow. In manga. And manga is usually faster than an anime. So, you know, when I'm turning pages, a lot of pages just have no dialogue and are just characters talking or walking or moving around or something, you know. A lot of pages, like, look at this page. Like, there's barely any dialogue in that. I can just look at the pictures, boom, go to the next page. But when you make an anime, you have to have a set pacing for your viewer to watch, for your viewer to experience. You can't have, like, it's not a choose your own adventure with pacing in anime. You have a direct pacing. So what that means is, with the anime, the pacing would probably be like a lot slower, almost unbearable at times. Honestly, I just don't think it would work. Now, the creators of Arcane have talked about wanting to do it. If they do it, they'd probably do a good job. Arcane is very good. I haven't seen it yet, but it's apparently very good. So, and I've seen like animation of it. It looks incredible. I know they do a good job. They do a good job with Vagabond too. Like, there's no doubt in my mind they do a good job. But other than, like, if I had fucking Studio IG doing Vagabond, I don't know how well they would do it. Especially because of just how expensive that would be, how time consuming. And I don't know if it would pay off very well. Now, Takahiko Inoue did direct the movie. He did direct the Slam Dunk movie, which was incredible. I watched it. Fantastic movie. He did direct that. And then he also might be getting into more anime. So if he directs a Vagabond anime, it could work. Because the Slam Dunk anime was beautiful. If he can direct a Vagabond anime, it could work. There are a lot of ways this could work, but there's just 9 times out of 10, this shit just does not work. It isn't good. It doesn't compute. I said that a lot in this episode, apparently, in this video. It's not going to compute. Alright, next. After that, I have RCL Midnight Children. Art is just too good, bro. I'm sorry. Turn to any page, bro. The art is just too good. I know I've said that for like every volume of this, but genuinely, this series looks better in black and white. I legit could not imagine this series in color. I know they're doing that for Uzumaki, like the anime of Uzumaki. They're having it be black and white, and it could work for this. I don't see it working. Like, especially because I just don't think it needs an anime. Like, there's some manga, basically all 10 of these, but other manga on my shelves as well here, they just don't need one. RCL Midnight Children is one. I read an interview with this guy, the author of this, Sakamoto, what's his name? Shinichi Sakamoto, yeah. And he was talking about, like, yeah, I've been exploring how to draw sounds. Like, what the fuck? And then I read this, and I was like, he's so correct. Like, I actually get visual or auditorial stimulation when I read this manga. Isn't that insane? I hear shit when I read this volume. And I haven't even gotten to Innocent yet. I haven't even gotten to that shit yet. And this is apparently worse. I just don't understand it. I don't know. It's too good, bro. It's too good. You just can't do it, bro. You just can't. It's off limits. It shouldn't be touched with an anime eye. Alright, next is another one I'm kind of conflicted on, but I put it here anyway because overall, I don't think it would be good as one, but I do want it as an anime. And that's The Horizon. And the main reason I want this as an anime is I just want more people to experience the story. I've given it to friends, I've given it to family, I've given it to a lot of people. Every single person who have read this has cried. In some shape or form. They've either shed a tear or they were bawling their eyes out by page 3, like me. So it's really difficult to stimulate how an anime would do in this capacity. And I don't think it would hit. It would hit very hard. It would be very sad. Everyone would be crying in the cinemas if there was a movie. I think it would work as a movie, actually. But The Horizon's greatest strength, well, yes, it's emotion, it's an impact, it's, everything is its paneling. And I know that's weird to say, especially because it used to be a webtoon where you would scroll up and down. But I genuinely think it works better as a book. Like, just looking at some of this paneling, there's no, like, speech bubbles. It just goes up and down. And it works so well because it follows your eye directly up from down. If that was, computed to an anime, I don't know how well it would do. And there's just some moments in this manga where, like, some panels just can't be replicated. Hold on. I think I'm getting to one. Some panels are just like, how do you draw this in an anime? How do you animate that? I don't feasibly know. Did I just rip it? No, I didn't. I don't feasibly know how you animate such a spectacle of how the Horizon is. I don't know if spectacle is the right word. It definitely isn't. But I just don't know how you would do that. The sound design would have to be perfect. What do you do with voice acting? I mean, there's just so many things that you would need to do as a director or as an animator or a producer or a studio or whatever. It would just be too much, and I just don't think it would work. It would be too messy. And it really is hard to replicate something that feels so in-depth with the author. Like, it feels like the author's magnum opus. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like the author is trying to, like, those manga where it's like you read it and you're like, okay, not a lot of thought is put into this. Now, that can or cannot be true. I don't know the authors personally, so I don't fucking know. But this manga, which is actually a manhwa, feels personal. And it's really hard to do that when you're translating it to a different medium. It's hard to get that connection. It's a reason why a lot of these, like video game movies don't do very well. It's because the people who make them as video games. So it's just really hard to translate it that way. And now I'll give my flowers. Animes, there's a lot of animes out there that really work where the manga just doesn't. There's a lot of them out there. Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, JJK. I mean, the list goes on and on. The Horizon is one of those special ones where I just don't think it could be simply just run through the anime filter. You know what I mean? The anime cog machine, if you will. Next, I have my second to last one. And this one's kind of a different reason. I know the anime like just got announced, and I could see it happening. Whatever. It's Wan Dance. Reason I don't think Wan Dance could work. Now, obviously, a lot of the dance moves could be in actual showcase of, animation and actually shown like their movements, because it's easy to read. it's easy to see what people are doing with like their dance moves and the way they move and stuff in the manga. Like, it is surprising how good it is, but in animation, it's just gonna look better. It's just going to. Like, there's no if, way, what's, or about it. It's just going to look better. The problem I have with is this anime uses a lot of copywritten songs. Like, if you turn a page and it shows, like, the song they're playing, like, right here, they're literally, like, oh, the song they're using, fucking, I don't know if you can see that, Bruno Mars. They mentioned Drake, they mentioned Bruno Mars, they mentioned fucking Logic, they reference Kanye. You're not getting those artists in the anime. You're not. So, my idea, which probably won't happen, but my idea is get songs from different anime. Like, imagine if they were like, alright guys, let's do our dance performance, and they played a fucking JJK OP. Wouldn't that be sick as hell? This is just an excuse for me to talk about that idea. But other than that, I just don't think this would work very well with the song choice, because every single dance is different and every single song is different and the songs reflect that. If you just got like an artist to do every single song, it would feel very, very repetitive throughout the entire season, whether it's 12, 24, whatever, how many episodes. It would just feel very repetitive. Now you could get a different artist for every single song, but is that really realistic? Not particularly. Alright. After that, I have my final manga. This might be predictable, it might not be. It might be in the thumbnail. I don't actually know yet. That manga is Gance. Gance would not work well as an anime. There's so many different things going against the idea of this being an anime. One, people just have sex. Like, it's just a hentai sometimes. There's like a scene where the main character goes to this woman and he's like, do you want to fuck? And she's like, sure. And they just do it on screen. And I know this has already had an anime. Like, I understand that. Getting the full anime, especially nowadays, oh my god. No. Just no. Nobody would want to watch this. There's just so many things going for it. Well, yeah, obviously. The sex part would be bad. There's so much blood, gore, and violence. I don't think people would really get, like, how edgy this thing is. Like a lot of, you know, there's stuff like JJK and Dandadan and Demon Slayer getting really, really, like, popular and, you know, just being big spokes as manga. Like, just being very big manga because of their animes. And they're dark. They're considerably dark and edgy, but this hits such a plateau in edginess. I just don't think audiences, and when I mean audiences, I mean like the average anime fan, would respond well. People would probably just brush it off as either edgy garbage or porn. Which, I mean, both are kind of true, but Gance is something different. Gance is actually incredible. Another thing going against it is its art. Its art is just so goddamn good. It's so impressive. Like, if you go to its later volumes, there's like this giant ass fucking battle royale against these aliens, and legit, it's so good. It just looks so impressive. I was in awe. My jaw hit the floor every single page I turned. I don't understand how this man draws some of this stuff, and a lot of it is like either Photoshop or 3D or whatever. But it looks so good. It just, oh my god. I'm actually speechless on how good Gance looks. Another thing going wrong with it, and I didn't mention it with these other manga, but I didn't think it mattered. They're just kind of old. Gance is just kind of old. Nobody really wants to produce anime for manga that are kind of old, that aren't printing anymore. Gance is also pretty long, so I don't think a studio wants to put all this money, time, budget, whatever, into this anime they don't even know is popular anymore. I mean, the author is creating new stuff now. Yeah, there's a side series, but he's creating new shit. Like, it's not just Gance anymore. Though, I do think we are going to get into the age where a lot more remakes are happening. When the One Piece remake comes out and everyone loves it and it makes a quintillion amount of money, I think we're going to start getting a lot more remakes. We're getting the Ranma 1/2 anime, and that shit is like fucking 30 years old. We're probably going to get a Bleach remake. We're probably going to get a Naruto remake, most likely. A lot of these older, especially because a lot of manga now are not, like, they're coming out and they're good. There's not a lot of staying power with them. So just reproducing anime that have already had a shitload of staying power is kind of just smart. Like, there's like a marketing idea. It's just kind of smart doing that with Naruto, Bleach. You could even do that with something like a Fist of the North Star. You could do that with JoJo's. I mean, JoJo's has good animation. You don't have to do it with JoJo's. You could do it with Fist of the North Star. You could do it with other anime that weren't great. Like, you could do another Terraformers. You could do another Record of Ragnarok. I think we're going to be in the age of the remakes, if you will. Okay, that is the end of the video. Again, Twitter, my anime list, in the description below. Also, if you want to give me some money and you want me to review your favorite series or your least favorite, I'll review your least favorite as well. Put it down below and give me some money with the super thanks. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you. Subscribe, like the video, comment down below. I read and respond to every single comment down there. As well, if you made it to the end of the video, please reply with a lion emoji. If you made it to the end, respond with a lion emoji. Like a lion, like the predator, like the beast, a lion. Put that shit down below as an emoji so I can know that you made it to the end of the video. I know, I see you. I see. It's only 20-minute video. Like, come on, bro. You can do this shit while you're doing like the laundry or something. That'd be pretty cool. Gregory. All right. Bye. See you.